think it must have been 10, 11 years old. I remember reading the Sunday Detroit Free Press paper with my dad in the living room, and grabbing it after I'd read these Sunday funnies, and then I would grab the back page of the paper. And it was a section that was devoted to photography and unusual stories by the chief photographer for the Detroit Free Press. His name was Tony Spina. And I just, even at that young age, I just remember being sort of captivated by his photography and the stories he would write. So that was my first remembrance of kind of being really intrigued by photography. And then it wasn't too long after that, well, a few years, I think, my mom and dad, they brought home this home video camera system, which was really pretty cool. It was pretty high tech for the times too. This was probably around 1982 or so. And it was an RCA camera that was basically a full-on VCR that had a battery system in it and a camera that would attach by cable. So it was completely portable, but it was pretty fascinating. My brothers and I, we would make videos all the time, and my friend Greg, and we would just go around making things up. And there was one we still have to this day. We did a video of Men at Work, Down Under, the song. And what was kind of cool about it was the fact that this RCA system actually had audio overdub capabilities. So that's what kind of allowed us to do some like on-the-fly editing and overdub lyrics and stuff. So it was pretty fun.
On a hippie trailhead full of zombies, I met a strange lady. She made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast.
And I went to Alpena Community College, and I thought, this would be a good opportunity to take some technical classes and learn about photography. So they had a basic introduction to photography class. And that's where I learned some of the mechanics of photography. And I do remember that there was a workshop put on, and they brought in a photographer. His name was Misha Gordon. If I remember right, I think he was from Russia. And he had this really kind of amazing darkroom technique for his photography, where he would actually expose one image, mask it off, expose a secondary image. And he would do this 2 or 3 times depending on his particular artwork piece. And it was amazing. The outcome was something like you had never seen before. I mean, this is way before Photoshop, and now it's commonplace, but there was an amazing art to it. And the outcome of his stuff was it was breathtaking. It was almost otherworldly sometimes. And that was another key moment for me. I just was like fascinated by the stuff that you could do with photography in a darkroom. I think I'd have to say my favorite type of photography definitely is nature photography. I would think that comes from some of the early classes I had in school. I remember there was a particular assignment that the instructor gave us to go out and outdoor photography, I think was all his instructions were, where you find repetitive lines in nature. And so doing that really kind of helped me open my eyes to my surroundings and finding stuff that we may just sort of, take for granted and overlook. But when you sort of have that photographer's eye and you look for certain things and what makes a good photograph, and it can be really eye-opening. Well, for me, it was not a career choice to be a photographer, but I still enjoy it every bit as much as I always did. And it's a hobby, but it's something that sticks with you for your whole life. I mean, if that is a passion that you have, then by all means pursue it any way you can. If you go to school about it and get yourself educated on the mechanics of all about photography, and then just go ahead and pursue it. And if it's a career choice for you, that's great. And I mean, you know, they say that if it's something you love, it's not work, you know. But that doesn't mean that if it's not a career for you, that you know you can't still enjoy it as a hobby, and it's very fulfilling, and it's a lifelong passion. I think if that's something you enjoy doing, then pursue it any way you can.